Hello and welcome to this special episode of Tech360 from the Yashobhoomi in New Delhi. This is the India Mobile Congress 2025 and the conversation here has been all about artificial intelligence, 6G, telecom companies talking a lot like tech companies. I think that is the need of the hour. A lot of celebrations, a lot of revelry. My name is Ayush Talabadi. Let's get this show started.
IMC का ये आयोजन अब सिर्फ मोबाइल या टेलीकॉम तक सीमित नहीं रहा। सिर्फ कुछ वर्षों में IMC का ये इवेंट एशिया का सबसे बड़ा डिजिटल टेक्नोलॉजी फोरम बन गया है।
India has always been a home for innovation, for invention. 1.2 billion mobile subscribers in our country. The policies that have been put in place, whether it is the semiconductor mission with 76,000 crores being put in place, almost over $10 billion have already been invested in semicon.
So much talk of artificial intelligence and 6G here at the India Mobile Congress in New Delhi. We thought we need to focus on the telcos as well because I think they're feeling the heat as well when it comes to AI and reinventing the wheel as a full stack tech company. We caught up with three of the biggest voices from the world of telecom here at the India Mobile Congress. Have a listen. This is not an auto review. I'm actually at the Airtel booth and there's so much innovation happening here that we need to showcase it. But the first question I have for a very special gentleman, Sharat, what a pleasure to have you on the show.
Nice to meet you as well.
Sharat, what is a Mahindra EV doing at an Airtel booth?
Look, so this is a connected vehicle solution, right? Or connected car solution. Because there is a SIM card inside it, which is also connected to cloud analytics. It becomes an IoT device, which gets full power of electronic IoT device, right? So apart from locations, if you want to do streaming services on it, if you want to remotely know the location, controls over it, you want to lock the car, you want to do a safe valet service, all those can be enabled.
All of these lovely little booths are showing us critical infrastructure?
That's right. Now, cybersecurity is an interesting business. This is a business where people pay you for nothing to happen. So they want you to prevent, they want you to detect, and they want you to remediate in time.
Absolutely.
Ideally, you want to prevent everything.
And be one step ahead.
One
of the
step
attacker.
ahead.
Yeah.
So when you have network, you have network security. You have cloud, you need cloud security. You have endpoint, you need endpoint security. You have AI, so you need AI security. Tomorrow you're going to have quantum computing, so you also need quantum safe, quantum secure solutions.
When you say AI-ready cloud, are you talking about AI-ready data centers? What's the backstory here?
Yeah, so if you look at cloud, they utilize data centers. So we have launched Airtel Cloud, which is a sovereign cloud with both data plane and control plane within the country. It has telco-grade reliability because if you manage critical infrastructure, you look for 5-9 kind of reliability. That's what we provide here.
Okay.
It reduces your total cost of ownership significantly. Our assessment is 20 to 40%.
Does the competition and innovation in the space sort of concern you sometimes, or does it spur you forward?
We see that there is massive consumption of the services that we provide. We are a telecom service providers, but if you look at new definition of telecom, today it has gone on, it's no longer just mobile services or broadband services. It's about creating that whole digital infrastructure that connects people. We've gone from 2G to 5G. We were the first to launch 5G.
Yes.
We'll continue to invest in right technologies as long as it makes business sense.
Are the lines really blurring between what a telco does and a tech company does in terms of 2025 and the way forward?
Look, both have their own value to bring, and it's an ecosystem that has to come together to deliver some value, right? Technology companies have their own role. Telcos have a unique role, and there is a place where some level of overlap will be there. But there's also a lot of scope for the companies to collaborate with each other to create value that ultimately delivers value to your customers.
While we've been walking around, like I said, finding the best in tech, this one caught my eye.
This is GeoPC. AI is everywhere. And for India to be competitive, we need to have access to AI for every individual, for every firm. And in order to do that, you need compute. Less than 10% of India has access to a dedicated computer at home. Right. That's where GeoPC comes in. Basically, any TV screen. Now, this is just a TV screen, right?
So all I need is my TV screen.
You need your TV screen and you need a GeoHome connection, which is your broadband connection. And you can just, at the click of a button,
Right.
convert this into a full-fledged computer.
Wow. The things I could be doing is a bunch of the usual things I would do on any other computer.
Any computer, any app, anything that you want to do, which you could do with any computer, this can do. In fact, in most cases will be much faster because it's running on the data center and cloud.
Talking about Jio's computing architecture and the AI infrastructure that we've been hearing about at some of the keynotes as well. This is really the manifestation of that, Anna. I mean, is that what you would say in terms of, getting that whole, the edge compute piece going, democratizing tech for the rest of India?
I think that's a great word to use, democratizing, and that's exactly what we intend to do. Now, what we're doing is, our realization also is that it's not just about computing. You also need to provide AI education.
Right.
So that everybody can use it. Nobody should get scared about it. Every student should have access to it. And that's where AI Classroom comes in. AI Classroom is powered by GeoPC. It's a course designed by Geo Institute. And again, this is absolutely free. You can access it on any laptop, desktop.
Okay.
If you don't have one, use GeoPC. But that's the beauty of it. In 4 weeks, every person should be able, anybody who goes through the course should be able to use AI, even if you're starting with absolutely no knowledge of AI.
And all of this will require a lot of infrastructure. We've seen those who've invested in data centers have genuinely come out on top, at least in the last few years.
That is true, but on top of that, connectivity and high quality connectivity, which helps us know who's a gamer, what traffic do they need, what are they playing, how are you peering it at the gaming servers at the other end. So all of that, but it is about making those investments ahead of time, which should now help us get consumers on.
Here at IMC, it's an amalgamation of tech, auto, enterprise, cloud, and most importantly, the real drivers of that change happen to be the telcos. And just to understand what the larger picture is, I thought we should have a conversation with someone very special, General Kochhar from the COAI. What a pleasure to have you on the show.
The pleasure is mine.
We're seeing a lot of the telcos, my take being that it's them reinventing the wheel with AI and tech big time. How are you viewing this as an industry body now? Is the innovation there to see? Has IMC really leveled up?
See, over the last 9 years, the growth has been phenomenal. Right? From being a small startup, now it has become the Asia's largest congregation for telecom, and we have ambitions of growing globally.
So could you tell me a little bit more about some of these technologies that telcos are actually adopting? I've seen AI-driven cloud architecture for spam detection, fraud detection, a bunch of things that were showcased here. But some of those top innovations that you think from the telco side, which can be a game changer for the larger country?
For a citizen, the biggest problem today is fraud and scams over digital networks, over digital systems. Now, telcos have taken it among themselves to stop this digital fraud as much as they can. The government has taken a lot of steps along with the telcos. They've introduced 1600 series, they've introduced suffixes, the unsolicited calls are being stopped. So that has been going on from the government side. From the telco side, they've brought in AI. And with AI, they've started labeling calls and messages which are spam.
Globally, you have Starlink, Project Kuiper here in India. Jio is working in the space as well. Is it more of a strategy of defense now when it comes to satellite, or more of attack, and to take it head on when it comes to Indian telcos, and how this changes the industry forever?
The tele-density in urban areas is 125%, right? That means they are very well connected terrestrially. When you go to rural areas, it is 58%. Scope for growth. Telcos want to invest money in terrestrial networks and fill up that gap. But the cost versus returns, the gap is too high.
Right.
So that is progressing, but at a slower rate. Now, if you bring in satellite, that becomes a complementary technology.
Okay.
Okay, that helps the telcos reach where they couldn't have reached otherwise, either commercially or because of the physical constraints. So I see satellite as a complementary technology for backhaul.
We're seeing the startup revolution also expand, where a lot of people are moving back and still be active in the tech ecosystem. Do you think telcos have been doing and working on strongly to deliver that connectivity?
So whether it's the telcos or the government, nobody anticipated the good effects of COVID. The good thing was that telecom kept the economy running. So telecom became essential and everybody realized the potential of telecom. So COVID became a catalyst. What would have happened otherwise in 10 years in a natural course happened in 2 years. So in the lifespan of every technology, one way of evolution is gradual.
Right.
Second is that you get a catalyst somewhere down the line and you get a kick up and then you scale higher heights. This is what has happened to telecom.
It's interesting to hear the perspective from the telcos here at India Mobile Congress. But what about the tech? It can't be like the pressures all on the Jios and the Airtels and the Vodafones of the world to reinvent the wheel and talk about full stack tech solutions. What are the tech companies doing? Are smartphones here at IMC? Not really. That's more of a Mobile World Congress territory, or even CES when it comes to those consumer tech devices. But here at IMC, the real conversation is the battle of the chipsets, because in an AI revolution, the chipset is imperative. We have a very special second half of the show lined up from here at IMC. I'll see you on the other side of a commercial break. The world of AI, a command center at your fingertips here at the Samsung booth. But it's a very interesting time in the world of technology because times are a-changing. It's no longer about smartphone reviews. Here on Tech360, it's real talk, real reviews, and very, very well-researched analysis. It's become the battle of chip makers in an AI revolution that's taken center stage. Here's a conversation with two absolute top experts from the world of chipsets on Tech360. Technology moves really fast, and now in the world of auto, I've been genuinely curious about how companies are innovating. I'm sat in a car at the heart of all this innovation, Snapdragon booth, India Mobile Congress, with the real goat of innovation, someone I love having a chat with about technology, Savi Soin. What a pleasure to have you in the passenger seat. This means you trust my driving skills.
Absolutely, especially on a Fiat.
I know. I mean, thankfully we're back to stick, but it's not the old school stick.
Right.
But we will talk about the old and new, the young and old, and tech in all its splendor, Savi. This has been a fascinating experience. As always, I see you at MWC Barcelona, I see you at so many Snapdragon events, but here, this seems like AI is the way to go and 6G is genuinely here to stay. Is that a fair assumption?
I think we're very excited about sort of India in general and actually IMC in 2025. You will see a lot of very interesting demos here, from all the way from 6G demo that we are showcasing. You're seeing in the car, you're seeing this cockpit with Gen AI in it. You're seeing a lot of different places where we are actually integrating. You're seeing communication being improved with AI. So you'll see a lot of demos here about how we are enhancing products and user experience with AI that's embedded.
If we were to talk about auto and the focus lastly, with Snapdragon on auto, we see some of the tech here on display. I mean, this is great from a marketing perspective to do this in a Padmini, of course, with nostalgia. But these cockpits are genuinely machines of the future where tech really will matter. And I think there's a huge focus with Snapdragon on auto as well.
That's right, very much so. I think we are working with all the Indian OEMs and bringing our technology, especially in the cockpit, as well as connectivity, as well as charging as well. So and ADAS now. So a lot of these learnings we have from our mobile that we are bringing into the cockpit, for example. I think we're very excited about where we're headed with the auto business in India.
In conversation with Anku Jain, who is the Managing Director for MediaTek in India at IMC 2025. Anku, welcome to Tech360.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Very glad to be here.
So let's start with two things.
Okay.
One, having these grand events like IMC 2025, they're very important, right? And secondly, having presence like this at such a grand scale, that's also important.
Yeah, actually, it is very important, because it brings all the stakeholders under one roof. so one can see the buzz around us, and I think it kind of pushes you and makes you believe that you're doing the right thing. Because we have been working very, very hard on various chipset designs, and when you come to such an event, you actually feel more confident, more and more better that India is happening, and there's a very exciting phase for the India for the next few years.
There's a lot of 6G going on here. So that's at the back of your mind?
Oh yeah, 6G it is. If you see globally, 6G standard has been coming up for the last few years. Although we have been talking it recently, but it is something which is every decade there's a new generation. Correct. So and MediaTek is already working on it for last several years actually, because it takes a long time for R&D to make it happen. I think we'll see 6G out in maybe next 4-5 years, but we have to put a lot of effort, R&D effort into it already. And when we see 6G as you said, I think it is a good way to. I think it's a good initiative by the government again. I think they have to show that it is important, and that kind of pushes the industry to go in that direction. So I think the direction from the government is very, very important in that sense. And of course, for 5G, India was a follower, and for 6G, I think we will be the front runner, and that's a very proud feeling.
There's this thing that I always wanted to ask someone who makes hardware as well. Do you think finally it's time that hardware is catching up to software now?
Yeah, definitely. Because I think India has been a software powerhouse for many, many decades. But even for hardware design, you would be surprised to know that 20% of the global talent is in India, right? Yeah, that's quite a mind-blowing number. Correct. So the talent is here, but now I think what has happened is that it is also something that how can we use the talent to make in India story, right? So that is something which has changed. So talent is not a problem, but I think the initiative was kind of lacking earlier. So now when we see all these fabs and all this electronic products coming up, that's something shows that India is really catching up now.
Let's also talk about the chipset that you guys showed us, the flagship so-called. Let's just quickly take a rundown on it. Yeah.
So I think you got the bits already, but yeah, Dimensity 9500 is the latest and greatest chipset that we have launched. It is great in multiple senses. I think if you see from the end user benefits, one thing which stands out is that it is able to provide console level gaming for the end user. That is, it can have 60 FPS continuous and sustained with ray tracing kind of features, which really need a lot of computing power. And it is actually able to give a seamless user experience for the end user. So that gaming is next level.
Because I know you're very busy, so I'll have to make this one my absolute last question. But then give me a global and India perspective to both of these. You are MediaTek, right? You make both sort of chipsets. You make those flagships and then you make those budget chipsets as well. There is going to be a difference in scale. There is going to be a difference in volume as well. Right. So there's a thin fine line between deciding which one to make first and which one to boost. I mean, I'm not even sure if that's a thin fine line, but what are your comments on the scenario?
So actually, what we have seen is our main aim is to democratize the connectivity, right? I think having a smartphone is kind of a basic requirement these days. So we want to cater to all segments of society. And that's why we want to continue to have all the segments, right? Like mainstream I mentioned, which is the entry level, and the premium segment and the flagship. I think we will continue to have all the three parts in the portfolio, because I feel that is the only way that we can have more and more people enjoy the technology, right? And I think that is really empowering them to be connected. So I think we will continue to do both.
The fun side of the India Mobile Congress, the Startup Pavilion, Aspire. Maybe 50 or 60% of this hall seems to be about startups. That's where the real energy is, and we have to document it here on Tech360. Yes, you heard from me about the telcos, you heard from me about the battle of chip makers, but this one's an interesting one. We thought there's nearly 300 startups on display over here. Why not bring you the best, the latest and greatest in tech here on Tech360? And that fun job is not mine. It's actually Tech360's Sharat Nair. Over to you, Sharat.
How can it be IMC, that to 2025, if there aren't startups and a lot of startups? Here's the top 5 startups that I saw, and again, these aren't ranked per se, it's just alphabetical for our convenience. Today's Aero Watch is a chunky prototype of a watch that when released will fit your wrist, and upon sensing danger or upon being triggered will detach from your wrist, deploy small fans
and fly and film you and your environment and facially track everyone in case you were attacked, with all the data being sent to guardians. Bugs Mirror is a cyber guardian for apps, and as the name suggests, it finds bugs in your app. Bugs that could let security threats and attacks happen. Bugs that could lead to revenue loss, loss of valuable data, and even digital privacy. LifeSync is a handy personal security device which has just one button and one purpose. In case of any emergency, when the button is pressed, it sends out an emergency SOS to people you add to the app as guardians. Pretty nifty, since it in itself is pretty inconspicuous. Which means even if your phone, your smartwatch gets stolen, high chances are you would still be able to click a LifeSync. Radkring is a 6-seater personal flying taxi, electric in drivetrain. Radkring is a completely designed and made in India product that aims to be the solution to increasing urban mobility challenges. It is still in prototype stage though. Tech at Play is a fully autonomous camera, switching and streaming solution that turns regular small-scale cricket matches into automated productions. Using real-time object tracking, Tech at Play tracks the ball when in play and automatically cuts, switches, and even zooms and turns connected cameras to turn small-scale sports matches into AI-directed events.
You know, this smile, this is an understatement of how happy the nerd, the geek inside me is while being here on the floor. If this number is a good representation of how many ideas we're coming up with as India, the nation, we are in really good hands.
The India Mobile Congress 2025 draws to a close, as does this special episode of your favorite technology show, Tech360 on NDTV. We hope you've enjoyed our coverage of this exhaustive and exhausting conference, because we've been burning calories throughout. I think I've met my daily step goals just walking around this conference. The entire crew here on Tech360 has really enjoyed putting this show together for you. We hope you've enjoyed watching it just as much. What did we make of the India Mobile Congress? Was it a damn squib? Maybe not. Is there scope for improvement? Definitely. It's fascinating that this is at a new venue, the Yashobhoomi in New Delhi, and the fact that we are comparing it to some global conferences around the world. The only thing I can say is, after covering this for a bunch of years, the India Mobile Congress was on an upward trajectory for the longest time. And the other ones around the world like MWC, IFA, CES seem to be saturated. Now things are different, because this one was at a new venue. There were a few niggling issues, access to the venue, maybe some things in terms of upkeep, but there's always scope for improvement, like there is in the technology world. And of course, here in India, we are aspirational, and our trajectory and our graph is moving upwards. Maybe we're aspiring for something very special next year. I will see you next week, same time, same place. My name is Ayush Alavadi. Until next week, adios.